Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be creating a video about some characters that are just broken. These characters have the ability to break completely the game mechanics, and it is something that is worrying me about the future of the game. And you guys are going to be learning more about this in just a moment once I finish the showcases for all of these characters. I'm going to be demonstrating how the characters work, what are they capable of doing, and I'm going to be giving you guys a real quick what are going to be some decent team compositions that you can create, and if they are good for like auto slimes, very hard, or goblins, or any other type of content. So we're going to be starting with that now, guys, and let's go. Okay, guys. So the first character that we're going to be talking about today is Leatrice. Leatrice is a character that I consider to be broken for just a multitude of different small things that she's able to do. And we're going to be starting for the basics. Leatrice is a character that has additional crit damage. As you can see here, she's showing to have 75% crit damage. Let me just corroborate this. Yeah. So she has actually 10% crit rate and 75% crit damage. For some reason, the game is bugged, so it doesn't show like the 10% on the crit rate here, but it definitely is there. We can see here on the gear that I have 32% additional crit rate. So with the 10%, then it goes up to 42.28% crit rate. So that's one of the important things that that we have about her. She has additional 25% crit damage that other characters doesn't have, which allows you to get to higher amounts of damage. Not only that, we also have that her ability, Rodebstar, is an ability that attacks 5 times and deals 30% of her attack per hit. So this ability takes full advantage of the chain damage increase. Is getting an increased amount of damage every time that she's hitting consecutively. And the most important thing about her is the dot that she's able to do. She deals 75% of her attack as physical damage for 3 turns. So the way it will work is that on your turn, once your turn ends and you have used the ability, the enemy takes the first hit. Then once the enemy turns comes, then the enemy takes the second hit, and then once your next turn ends, the enemy takes the third hit. Yes, this ability is a little bit expensive. It is an ability that costs you 6 SP, right? But it's just definitely just very, very insane. We can see here that with +1, she would be doing 110% of her attack with this damage over time. We can see also here in the graphic that she goes all the way up until 185% of her attack. Keep in mind, guys, she's not increasing the base attack. She's always doing 30% of her attack 5 times. So that is staying like that. It's 150% of her attack, basically. More because you have the chain damage, so it goes higher than that. It may go higher to like, I think it's going to be like 210% actually, if you take in consideration the chain damage. So that's basically what Leatrice is able to do, and that's the reason why I consider her broken. Like, also you have this thing, right? The ability actually attacks basically the entire board. She is able to cover 9 tiles. So she is really, really insane, and this is one of the reasons why I consider her to be broken and game breaking as well. I say game breaking because on my second account, once I got Leatrice, I started to complete hard and very hard for all of the chapters, and she basically just one-handedly killed everything. She was the one just carrying me through pack number 1 to pack number 6. Pack number 7 and pack number 8 are not her forte because pack number 7 is water heavy and she's a fire unit. And pack number 8, you just cannot use her because you have to use the temporary one that you get there. So this is basically, guys, the reasons why I consider her to be so strong. Quick recommendation for teams: you can use something like this, for example, Ariness for crit rate, Samai for additional attack, or Helena if you want additional crit rate, and you can then use Cry for defense break, and then Leatrice and Wiggle to bomb. We're going to be testing here with our sleeping guy, and let's go. Okay guys, so as you can see, this is just a testing team. This is not actually the team that I would recommend you guys to use. But just for the purpose of this, right, because I need to make sure that Justia kills this guy so that then Wiggle can go to the back line and then clean these other guys there, and then Leatrice will be focusing on attacking the 3 enemies that are here. This is actually a pretty good team that you can use for like general content, because you can see Justia will be able to deal massive amounts of damage, then Leatrice will be able to pretty much like clean the whole board, and then Wiggle is there just to finish the job if anything is still alive. So just keep in mind, we're going to be seeing here how much damage he's able to do. This guy have 8k HP and this guy have 7k HP, so keep that in consideration for when we see the damage. Okay, the boss still have 59k HP. Let's see how much damage this is. Alright, as you can see, Beatrice was able to kill one of the guys that has 8k HP. She almost killed the other one as well, and she was able to deal approximately 9k damage to the boss, right? Because the boss was 59k HP, and at the end it was a 50k. So again guys, I know this is not the best Leatrice out there. I have some friends that already have Leatrice to level 100, and they are able to one-shot even enemies that are water heavy like the enemies in chapter 7. So I know for sure that the potential of this character is way higher than whatever I'm showing you right here. Also, if you have Helena +5 and you use Ariness plus Helena +5, plus you craft like a necklace with great damage for her instead of the crit rate one that I'm using, then you can go to up to like 300 and something % crit damage, and the total amount of damage that you are going to be doing is just going to be massive. So just keep that in mind guys. There is room for improvement, but these are basically the reasons why I consider Leatrice to be one of those broken characters. It's just mostly because she single-handedly kills and destroy the entire story pack hard and very hard, from pack number 1 to close to pack number 7. This pack number 7 may be a little bit hard and very hard for her because she's fire, but hard, she definitely can handle it. So guys, when it comes to compositions for her, again, this is a great composition because as you can see, you are able to use all these skills, increase her damage a lot, and you have 2 cleaner units with Justia and Wiggle, right? So you have 2 cleaners that can, help to ditch and destroy any other enemies that are still alive after she deals damage. The combination that I use for slime with her is this. You would need Cry with the student costume and Wiggle. And you can change Samai for Helena if you want. That's an option as well. But basically what you do is this. You are going to be positioning your units the same way that you see here. You may position one unit here just in case, right? And move this one to the backwards. So this is actually the optimal positioning for slimes very hard. The attacking order is going to be Leatrice first, Cry second, and then Wiggle last, just to clear anything that is still alive. This team, I have been using it for 1 week now, and it is 100% auto, never fails. You always are able to kill all enemies without any problem, assuming that you have good substats on your Liatris and other team members. Guys, this is it for Liatris. We are going to be continuing with the next character in just one moment. Okay guys, so the next character making his appearance here as a broken and game-breaking character is Gray. Gray is a character that is so insane and so good due to the reason that he deals damage based on the damage of the attack of the enemy. So the more attack the enemy has, the more damage Gray is able to deal. If you get him to +1, you already have a massive increase of damage because now he's dealing 215% of the enemy attack instead of 125% that he normally does at +0. This is a character that you get for free. You don't even need to roll for him, and if you're lucky enough and you get an extra copy, then you already have a character that is able to just one-shot any boss in the game as long as the boss is based on attack. One more thing that is so broken about Gray, and again, this is bad, this is wrong here, right, is that Gray has 20% crit rate base damage, right, and 50%, sorry, my bad. Gray has 20% crit rate base and 50% crit damage, right? So he's easy to build. It is very, very easy to get him to have like an insane amount of crit rate. I'm going to be actually just demonstrating that for you guys here. Let me just give him like some equipment. Let me just get this, joink, and let me just get this one as well, joink. And then now my Gray is at 54% crit rate with 169% crit damage. Yes, you can have way higher crit damage than what I have right here, but for me, this is actually pretty good. And for the purposes of testing this, right, I think that this is going to be enough. We may as well just give them this as well, right, to have more, yeah, just more crit rate and more crit damage. Why not, right? So this is going to be 56% crit rate plus 181% crit damage. Once we are able to, you know, change the substats and all of that, we are going to be able to deal way more damage because we're going to be able to go for crit damage rolls on our substats, and you know, it's just going to improve the character way more. Gray, it is not so strong only because of that, but also one more reason for Gray being such a great character is that all of his costumes are insane. If you can see here, base costume at +5 is only using 2 SP and it is dealing 425% of the attack of the enemy. Keep in mind that the damage over time can crit, so you are doing basically 150% of the enemy damage, right? If you have only 100% crit damage, right? If you have more than that, it's just way more, right? And it is the same for this one as well. This costume attacks 9 tiles and it deals damage based on the magic attack of the enemy. So you have the flexibility. If you need to kill an enemy that has high base attack, then you go with the first costume. And if you need to kill an enemy or a boss that has high magic attack, then you go with this one, right? And then we have the last one, which is the Gray B rank manager. That is just massive. It is like more than 400% at +5 because it is 85% 5 times. It takes advantage of multi-hitting, which gives you additional damage with the chain damage, and it is doing a defense break. He's reducing the defense of the enemy by 50%. So also, this is only 2 SP if you have it at least at +3. It is just insane. This character, Gray, it just doesn't make any sense to me, because if in the future they are adding any content that is really hard, that is really complicated to do, and that you are supposed to do like, you know, some thinking and tactics and things like that to be able to deal more damage, you simply are not able to actually do that, because now you can just enter with Gray any of the costumes and then just one shot whatever is there, and then it just makes no sense. That's what I'm saying, that I'm a little bit worried about the future with the game, because characters like this are just making the game way too easy. So let's go with the demonstration, guys. That's the most important part here, and let's go. Alright, so for the demonstration, we are going to be using the same tactic. We are going to be using Arines to double buff with Samai. Then Justia needs to clean this guy so that I can actually attack the boss. Weagle to clean the backline. And then Gray is going to be focusing the boss with his attack. We are going to be checking exactly how much damage he is able to deal. Again, you can see this team works perfectly fine. You still have 3 SP left, so you are able to do some extra damage. And you know, the next turn, if you have any other costume that you can use, then you can use it without any problems because you have the SP here. So let's go and see how this works, guys. Alright, so the boss is at 59k HP, so let's see how much damage is Gray doing. And it's 21k damage. That was a crit. And it's 21k damage, guys. Keep in mind, this is a +0 Gray. With no, what is this called? Like, he doesn't have like any insane stats, right? It is not fully optimized. I am for sure, like, I'm completely sure that you can deal way more damage if you go for a pure great damage build and that you bring Helena and Arines. That way you can, you know, change your crit rate neck to a crit damage neck, and then the total amount of damage that you're going to be doing is just going to be massive. So keep in mind, guys, this is just +0. So if this was +5, that guy would not even have enough HP for the total amount of damage that he will be taking. When it comes to team compositions for Gray, guys, Gray is a unit that is situational, and that you are going to be using mostly for hard and very hard content. Whenever you are needing to complete a stage in where you are having problems, then that's when you want to bring Gray, because he is going to be able to just annihilate whatever boss or enemy in hard or very hard that is giving you complications. So that's going to be everything for Gray, guys, and we are going to be continuing with our next character in just one moment. See you in a second, guys. Okay, guys, so for our next character we have Rue. Especially this costume that is called Nature's Claw. This costume, we get it for free, and even though, as you can see here, I have a +2, you actually don't need this costume to have any additional dupes for it to be, you know, able to do what I'm going to be demonstrating today. There is something special about this costume and this character, right? And it is that this character actually deals damage based on the maximum amount of HP of the enemy. As you can see here, for me, at +2, it is dealing 12% of the enemy max HP 5 times. So this is 60% total damage. 60%. The stupid thing about this is that this attack actually can crit. If the enemy is defense broken, it deals more damage. If you have elemental advantage, it deals more damage. Rue is a dark element unit, so she would not have any elemental disadvantages, so she is always going to be doing insane amount of damage. And lastly, this is an attack that you know, can crit, and if you can crit with this attack, as I was saying before, is 60% of the max HP of the enemy with no crit. So if you have 100% crit damage, and out of the 5 attacks, you are able to crit 2 times, the enemy is dead immediately. Also, since this is 5 attacks, you are getting increased damage due to the chain damage, right? Each following attack is going to be doing more damage. It is starting at 9% more damage after the first attack, and then it starts decreasing the total percent by 0.5% for every additional attack that you do with the chain damage. Not only that, but you don't need to level her up because she doesn't deal damage based on her attack, so you don't really need her to be level 100 or level whatever. You can leave her level 1 and that's enough. She is a character that have 10% crit rate base and 50% crit rate base. As you can see here, I have, this is what I'm using right now. I have 160% crit damage, and I have 41% crit rate. I'm going to be demonstrating to you guys how strong this character is, and we are going to be using our training dummy here, the one that we have been using so far. Let's see how it goes, guys. As you can see, just for the sake of this demonstration, I don't need to bring any other characters. What I'm going to be doing though is that I'm going to be using my Helena instead of Samai, because again, you don't need attack, you don't need magic attack. So I'm going to be stacking crit rate buff. So that's going to be 30 here and 25 here for a total of 55% crit rate, plus the 40 something that she have already, shows she's close to 100% crit rate. So as you can see, no crit, this is the total amount of damage that she would do. No crit, 44k damage. Just like that is already insane. But let's see, guys, how much damage she's going to be able to do. Here we go. And as you can see, I started doing 20k crit, 25k crit, and then last hit was 30k crit. And the reason for that is because, the damage is increased due to the chain damage. The boss didn't stand a chance. I did way more damage than the actual amount of HP that this boss have. And yeah, it's just insane, guys. Again, this worries me because if in the future the developers wants to add like any boss that has a lot of HP and again requires some planning, or maybe using tanks and using healers to survive and kill it, it would not matter because you just go with Rue, just one-shot it and get out. So I definitely think that there are some things on the abilities of this character that have to be changed. It just doesn't make any sense that this character is able to deal such high amount of damage even without critting. And that's not the only thing, right, guys? This is +2 Rue, guys. What if we go to +5 Rue? +5 Rue deals 15% of the enemy HP per hit. So we are talking about 75% of the HP of the enemy. It just doesn't make any sense that this character actually is able to kill with, chain damage and all of that. So basically, you don't even need, if you have a +5, you don't even need to crit. The enemies are dead because you have to keep in consideration that you have like the increase of damage due to the chain damage. When it comes to compositions for this character, team compositions, again, this character is just a situational character that you're going to be bringing to hard or very hard content. If you're stuck in a boss, you're not able to kill a boss, you just bring Rue, just destroy the boss, and then you win the battle, and that's it. So guys, let me know in the chat if you guys know any other character that is just as broken as Rue is. And I would really like to know about that. Just to, finally, you know, we have been seeing, right, that during the entire showcases, I've been using Arinez, and then now I'm using Helena. And this is like the bonus for me, right? It's a combination of these two characters, Arinez and Helena. If you have Helena +5 and Arinez +5, you are able to have 80% crit rate, which means that you only would have to increase your character's crit rate to 20% to have 100% crit rate, and then you can focus everything else on crit damage. And crit damage increases in this game are just, they doesn't make any sense. Easily you can get a character to have more than 400% crit damage. That's why, again, Helena and Arinez are characters that are just breaking the game mechanics. It doesn't make any sense for me. I mean, I know we are comfortable, you know, we are fine. We're having these units, we are fine seeing the big numbers. But guys, let's think about the health of the game and the future of the game. Like, crit rate buff should not be able to stack. It makes no sense. It just makes the game too easy, and it's just not good at all. Let me know, guys, if you agree with me, if you think that these characters that I have shown so far deserve some changes, right? Like in the case of Leatrice, she's fine. She's just a good all-round unit, right? She's not like utterly broken. In the case of Grey, she's actually going to be a little bit nerfed in the next patch, in August patch, because they are going to be reducing the attack and magic attack of the enemy. So indirectly, they are nerfing Grey, because Grey deals damage based on the amount of attack and magic attack that the enemies have, right? But Rue, she's just broken. She's just insane. She's a unit that you always bring to PvP. You use the first costume, she one-shots one enemy with the knockback, and then she changed to the other costume and one-shots an enemy with this costume, with the Nature's Claw costume. And then she just cycles back to the other one, and that's it. She one-handedly just kills everything on PvP. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here with me on my stream. I do really appreciate a lot. If you guys would, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. If you know any other character that is worthy of mention, please just put it in the chat, and I will make sure to maybe create a next video with the information of that. See you in the next video, guys. Peace.